there, and happy Tuesday. And it's an evening edition tonight because I got to spend most of the day with my granddaughter, and it was fun to have her here again. And she wasn't feeling the best, that's why she's been here, but today she had a lot more activity to her, but we still found plenty of time to snuggle. And then after that, I caught up on a few things and hopefully delivered my last field meal because it sounds like yucky weather is moving in, and then it's going to get cold, and hopefully everything can be put to rest for the winter. So all of a sudden it's like evening. Hi there, Lois. Hi, Carol. Glad to have you guys on here. So I will be making card number 4 for the month of November's stack of 10 projects, and I'm going Christmas with this one. So Lois is watching. Lois always likes anytime I do trees, so hopefully she likes today's card too. And I'm using the red and green foil sheet, so I'm trying to kind of move my cards so you can see the foil on there, and just kind of giving it kind of like a vintage like cozy Christmas feel to it. I sometimes think of like ornaments that we had on our tree growing up, and I'm the youngest of 7 kids, and so sometimes the tree, the ornaments that were first put on there by my older siblings, 15 years older than me, still stayed on there. And so a lot of times things look vintage just from that point of view too. So kind of just reminds me of some of the things that how we decorated growing up and such too. So it's kind of like that total warm feeling look of a card. And let me get my iPad put down. I have that working. And that way, if you guys have questions, then you can ask me that. Hi, Kay. Hi, Francis. Hi, Angie. And I'm going to move my camera so you can see the card better straight away, and my whole workspace too. Okay, so here is the card, and now that I have it this way, I think you can probably see the textured embossing folder a little bit better too, and a lot of the elements that I added onto there. Thanks for sharing, Kay. That's so sweet of you to do that all the time. So the trees, if you're wondering like, hey, where's that red and green foil? That is in the annual catalog. So it's 12 by 12. You get 2 12 by 12 sheets of real red. And then, well, actually I shouldn't say real red, but that's probably the closest color it is. And then 2 12 by 12 sheets of the green. So it is a 4-pack of paper. And I'll show you this here. So it's called red and green foil sheets. So 4 pages, 2 red, 2 green. And that's from the annual catalog. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Diane. I always think it's funny when there's multiple names because people are like, you just said hi to me. All right. And then I'm pulling out this, I always get a kick out of this conglomeration here. The In Good Taste Designer Series paper has shown a lot of love as I've used a lot of the different things. And so I'm actually taking just like this little piece of scrap, and I'm glad Lisa's here to keep me accountable for using up little scraps. It's probably about 1 inch wide or so, and then I cut like a 1/4 inch off. So these are going to be my little tree stumps, or stumbling for the word. These little things. There we go. Tree trunks. There we go. Tree trunks. Okay. So that is where that is coming from. So just the littlest piece there. And the fun thing about Stampin' Up! Is they have kind of incorporated similar wood grain designs with things. So you might have another similar piece that will work for you too. Now the sentiments here, Merry Christmas, that comes from, and I say sentiments because in the inside, it also said it's the best time of year. Is from Peaceful Deer. So the Peaceful Deer stamp set is from the mini catalog on page 26, and I'm only using the stamp set tonight, but this punch here is part of the bundled savings. If you buy the stamp set and the punch, you can get all of that, and it's a very big stamp set, and the punches always sell for $18 when they're like these big sturdy ones here. And so to think that this punch itself would be $18, and then if you bought the stamp set separately, it's $22, but bundled savings of $36. So that's on page 26. Like I said, tonight I'm only using the stamp set, but I have often used the punch with it. It is either unavailable or on back order, but just know that if you try to order this, it should be back in November 15th, the week of November 15th. So if you've also ordered it already and you're waiting, it should be in soon. So they have given us November 15th as that to look forward to having it back in. Okay, let me just give you a wider shot here of my workstation as I go to put the card together for you guys. And traditional Christmas colors don't get any more traditional than red and green, so it's fun to use those together and that those come together in the same package of foil sheets. And I'm going to start by rolling out my cut and emboss machine, and I'm going to use the Timber 3D embossing folder, and that's from the mini catalog, and it's a little thicker because it's 3D, and that means I'm going to use my platform 1, like the big thick one, just that single one, and then get rid of all the cutting plates, and then just put number 4 on top of my embossing folder. So this is just a piece of basic white cut 3.75 by 5 inches, and I'm just going to put that this way and fold that, and always make sure that you're putting your embossing folders hinge first when you put them through there. Doesn't matter if they're 3D, regular, or whatever kind, always put your embossing folders hinge first. It's going to keep them lasting longer and protect them. Hi Donna, good to have you on here. Enjoy too, thanks. All right, and so we have that, and I always think with the 3D embossing folders, there's more of a just a more solid image that comes through of the texture. And this one, you can kind of pick and choose if you go, oh, I like that side, or I like that side. I don't think there's a right or wrong. Stampin' Up! Would probably say, yes, use this side because it's popped up. But I kind of like the flat, very like deep images on the other side, reverse side too. Okay, so that I'm just gonna set aside. And the number 4 gets set aside with my embossing folder because next I'm going to do some die cutting. So that's going to be platform 1, and then platform 2 is kind of that shim, and then my well-loved cutting plate, the first one. And hey there, Chris and Marie, good to have you on here. I'm trying to talk and grab my stuff at the same time. Okay, and then I'm grabbing my green and red foil sheets here, and to run those through the cut and emboss machine, I'm going to use my Stitch Triangles dies. I've got a couple of them here, but I kind of want to show you. I showed these last time I used them, so I'm pulling these two. They're the kind of the neck size or closest sizes together there. I could have made my trees bigger or smaller. And then you can see, for those of you that love math and everything that goes with triangles, you would have all the names for these down in a heartbeat and be so excited that you would know right angle, obtuse, and all that kind of stuff. But there's 3 different kind of shapes, so you can kind of plan your things around that too. I kind of wanted the tall skinny, so that's why I went with this. And then they even have a little banner here, kind of more of a background thing, and then kind of a nice little edging there. And so there's lots of dies in the Stitch Triangles dies package. I'm going to use the larger of the 2 first on the red foil sheet, and I'll just line that up here like this, and then run that through. Hi Tori, your sister's watching with you. And then you can see here, hopefully, yeah, the camera does pick it up. You can see the fun stitched edging around there, and I just love that little special edge that these dies give that. I'm kind of a sucker for the stitch dies. Anytime they come out with stitch dies, I feel like, oh, I need those and I need those. But I really was proud of myself for holding out as long as I did on these, and just kind of kept thinking of ideas of how I could use them, and so glad that I did cave and get them. So no regrets there. And this one too has that same stitched edge there. So nice and sparkly. And I think that's all that I need my cut and emboss machine for. So I'm just going to set that over there. And I'm going to do a little embossing. Christmas to me usually means some form of embossing. And I want to bring out some white embossing powder here. And then I'm going to pull out my Merry Christmas from that Peaceful Deer stamp set. It looks like we're going to stamp this in red, but it's just because the last time I used it, I stamped it in red and it just dyed it, but I've cleaned it. So this is clean. I can put it on a white ink pad, a light ink pad, my Versamark pad, and that's not going to transfer the color over. So I like to kind of give that little plug of once your stamps are clean, they're usually really clean and good to go. Hi there, Barb. Good to have you on here tonight. Okay, so Merry Christmas I'm inking up with my Versamark pad, and I'm going to, on this thin little strip here, it's about a 1/2 inch strip. I did stamp out Merry Christmas. You just can't see it yet because it's the Versamark, kind of that invisible ink stuff. And I do pour on a generous amount of white embossing powder there and give it just a little flick here. And I'm not going to be too worried on today's card if there's a little extra pieces of the white embossing powder that have stuck, because I think it's going to just kind of give it a nice little snowy feel for Christmas. So even though I put lots of extra embossing powder on there, I just gather it in my little catch scratch sheet here. And these little containers last a long, long time because you're just using such a small amount of embossing powder. So then we're just going to heat that up. So it just kind of looks almost like light and chalky. And as it gets warmer, it's going to make this get whiter and brighter against the black and just kind of pop. I think white's always fun to use during the Christmas season for kind of that snowy effect. And for using white on black cardstock, I usually recommend embossing. You can use just our white craft ink pads, but I feel like embossing always gives it just a sharper, more of a pop and stands out more when you emboss it. So let me get out my scissor and just snip that there. So like I said, this is about a 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to set that aside. It only takes just a few seconds to cool down and it should be good to go. So as that happens, we can assemble the rest of our card here. Hi, Amy. Hi, Rachel. And for that, now I have to pick the side. So I'm going to pick the side that actually pops up the most and put my adhesive on the back side. And yeah, I think I gave you this measurement, 3.75 by 5. And then for my card base, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 folded this way. This is the thick basic white. Hey there, Carol. I hope I get to see you in a couple weeks at the retreat. Please say yes. So I'm just doing white on white, which I kind of feel like sets a really good background for the vintage kind of warm, cozy feel of this Christmas card too. And just having that texture on there makes it pop a little bit more for this layer. I'm not, sometimes when I do color in color, I pop it up with dimensionals, but I'm not doing that. I'm just taping it flat tonight. And then I can start putting some dimensionals on my trees. So the red one's a little bit bigger, so I'm gonna kind of fit 3 dimensionals on there. The green one being a little bit smaller is only gonna kind of have room for a couple dimensionals. And then for my Merry Christmas here, it's kind of that narrow little skinny piece. Hi there, Terry. So let me grab my scissor. I have both of my scissors out tonight, and I want to make sure that I don't grab the one that's my ribbon cutting to do this. And so I'm just going to cut into my dimensionals, that long skinny strip there, and pull that right off the edge. I love saving the edges for just this type of occasion because it's so nice to just peel that off when it peels off. Oh my goodness, there we go. And then I can just put that right across the back of my sentiment to give it a nice long dimensional pop-up thing. Oh, frozen screen. I hope it's not for everybody. Sometimes that happens. Okay, so I'm just going to put my Merry Christmas down on the bottom here, and that's where I say, like, if you see a little bit of extra white little flakes or flecks, that is going to just add to kind of the coziness, the wintry scene of it, and that's not a big deal. Sometimes I will take my finger before I heat emboss and try and get that off, but for tonight I didn't want to. I like that look. And let's just remove these little extra pieces here of the dimensionals. And the reason I put my Merry Christmas down first is I don't want to put my trees down too far and then have not enough room to do that. So now I know kind of where I can put my my trees. So I'm going to maybe scooch it over just a hair this way instead of centered, because I want to end up putting a ribbon there and I don't want it to be too close. And for my green, I'm just going to make these the same line and match that up right across there. And then, like I said, I have just the tiniest little pieces here from the In Good Taste, like the wood grain look. And they are like literally about 1/4 inch by 1 inch. And I'm just going to attach that with a, whoops, with a mini glue dot. I didn't press hard enough for it to stick. There we go. And then another little mini glue dot here, give it a good press, and then it's good to go. And now with this, I'm just going to kind of set that, because I'm going to do the green one first. Set that there, and then hopefully it looks, I'm just doing this by eyeing it, hopefully it's the same match up on the bottom too. So it just kind of gives it a nice little rustic look there. And I kind of got an inspiration just kind of with the color scheme more than anything for this card, and they kind of left it. And not that that was bad. So if you're, especially if you're a new stamper, just got a new machine, if you sent me a card like this, I'd be thrilled. I'd be thrilled that you're stamping or using your machine. So what I'm going to do to step up my card is to get out the white. So it just is white here, glittered organdy ribbon, and it just has some fun glitter in there, and it's organdy, just like it's called, but it is kind of fun for the festive season of Christmas to have a little bit of extra sparkle in there. And with the card base being so plain and white, you really get to see how that glitter within the organdy ribbon, how it stands out and just kind of ties the glitter from the ribbon to the red in the foil too. So I'm just going to tie that tight, then grab my ribbon cutting scissor here, give that a snip, and then I'm just going to shorten this one up just a hair too, so that we have that. And I think that just adds a lot to it to be able to do that. And hi there, Cheryl, good to have you on here. And then the other accessory I thought, because everything's sparkling, to add some rhinestones. But like I said in the beginning, when I thought back to my childhood and shiny ornaments and such, it was interesting how it was paired often like with things that are tamed down. So instead of adding more shine and shimmer, I'm actually going to go with my pearl basic jewels for this and kind of tone things down, but still add another fun look to it. And these actually could look like big fluffy snowflakes in the realm of the card. So on this card, you'll see there's large, kind of medium, or maybe, no, just two, well, here we go. Yeah, large, medium, and small. Lots of small ones. I'm going to pull one of the large ones off first, and that's going to be put on my card closest to the bottom. Then I'm going to grab a medium size one here. Thank you, Julie. This was kind of fun to put together after a long day of doing lots of stuff. It's like, oh, I can't wait to stamp. I enjoyed everything I did today. And this is just kind of like, oh, another fun thing that I get to do yet, even though it's later at night. So I'm just kind of putting large and then the medium and the small to put 3 different sizes. And then, of course, the odd number of accessories always is more attractive and fulfilling to the eye to look at. So that's done, and that's it for the for the outside of the card. And then for the inside, I'm just going to grab my Real Red ink pad here, open that up, and from that same stamp set, the Peaceful Deer. This I haven't used as much with my red ink, but I'm going to now, so it's not as stained as my Merry Christmas looks from the front. And this, when I ink it up in my Real Red, then you can see it better. because it's photopolymer. It's kind of hard to read those. It's the best time of year. And that's even kind of fun how the red on the white kind of just matches with the organdy ribbon that shows here too. Thank you, Fran. It was really fun to put together for you guys. Hopefully that'll give you guys some inspiration for those that like to create your own Christmas cards. So this is card number 4 out of 10 for the month of November. And it sounds like weather is moving in, at least where I'm at, in the next few days. So it might just inspire some of you guys to get crafting some more too. I know when it's cold outside, like today I even washed some windows because I know the deadline for doing that. One year I waited, I'll never forget, December 3rd, and I thought, oh, I just want clean windows. I went out, all my water froze to my windows. It was so ridiculous. So after that, I'm like, I'm never waiting that long. Well, after we get finished with harvest, it seems like it's like getting close to that deadline every single year. But I did some of that today, and it's just kind of good to check that off my list and then go, you know what, when it is cold, if it does start to rain or snow, whatever we get this week, I can have a blast in my stamp room knowing that all my outside stuff is accomplished. So anyway, so that was number 4. If you're interested in getting my set of 10 cards this month, you can place a minimum $75 order using that code that's on my workstation. And then when I post the still shot of today's card too, that will show up on there. Or if you just want to order the set of 10 cards, that's $25. Just let me know. And then when they're ready, I send those out. And $25 includes a shipping or local delivery. So that's how that works for the cards. And I'll be back again tomorrow afternoon. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do Christmas or just an all occasion. I'm trying to mix half and half, and I have so many ideas of both, but this time of year I just kind of want to do all Christmas, but I'm sticking to my word, half and half, so those that get the package of cards know what they're going to kind of be getting as far as what types of occasions. So see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye-bye.